It's all the stories that matter
and the people behind them.
From the big moments
To the day-to-day grind.
we're delving deep into your story on 947 Drive
With Tando.
Our favorite day, your story day. Today's guest is a little girl, or was a little girl, from Seshego with dreams of performing to becoming one of South Africa's most recognizable and fearless storytellers. 3 decades. She's commanded our screens, told our stories, used her voice to challenge an industry she loves. Ladies and gentlemen, actress, author, broadcaster, mother, and unapologetic advocate for artists. Ladies and gentlemen, Rami Chuenen.
It's all the stories that matter
And the people behind them.
you're plugged into.
Your story on 947 Drive with Tando.
My name is Rami Chuenen. I knew when I was 5 that I was going to be an entertainer. I would sing go Geraging, and I would sing at school, go assembly. And I was short like this. I'm like, hey, our Father, who art in heaven.
I am woman, I am fearless, I am sexy, I'm divine.
He'll come running. That matter. My audio is so predictable. Don't worry.
My name is Rami Chuenen. I play the role of Jemima, also known as Juju. I love playing Jemima.
It's all the stories that matter
And the people behind them.
you're plugged into.
Your story on 947 Drive with Tando.
And she joins us live, ladies and gentlemen, Rami Chuenen. I feel like I'm at take a family member to work there.
Yes,
This is
literally.
very strange for me.
Yeah, we could have done this over lunch.
Honestly, we literally could have spoken. But in the times that we do speak, Rams, we never speak about home. I mean, I know you're always driving back to Seshego, but
forth,
I don't think we've ever had a conversation about your childhood, how you grew up, what life in Seshego actually was like.
Yeah.
So 5 siblings. You're the 6th child, is that correct?
No, I'm the second one.
Well,
And then
there's
it
6
makes
of
us the
you
6
all
of us,
together.
yes.
What was that like growing up in Seshego?
It was loud. It was very loud. We had lots of fun. We lived in those 4-room houses first. And there was a point where I went to live with my grandparents in Seshego, not far from my house, because it was just a stone's throw away. Yeah, from my school.
Yeah.
I used to go to Lotanang. So it will take me literally a minute to run just before they close the gate. Yeah. And then I would do that.
You document a lot of your childhood in your memoir, We Kiss the Sun and Embrace the Moon, which we'll touch on a little bit later on. But I know that culture and language were very important for you and still is growing up. What role do you think language played in who you are today?
First of all, I almost spoke in Sepedi, guys.
Lina kabulela because of you.
Growing up, it has always been that thing that they've always reminded us, you need to be able to speak and read your language, and that has worked for me in such a tremendous way. And I mean, obviously languages are compulsory at school, and when we started watching TV and then shows like Ngwanaka Ngwanaka Okai, Bophelo ke Semphego started showing, then I realized, listen, if I want to do that, then I might as well
do it in my language
and properly invest in the language.
Yeah,
and speak it fluently.
I mean, you also document how you'd read books by African writers such as Escampahlele, and that was a big part of home. And I think it's so beautiful that your parents preserved that for you. What kind of parents were they?
When we were growing up, we used to think my mom is the drama queen, and now we're actually starting to realize that actually the drama queen is my dad.
Okay.
But yeah, 2 loving parents. We've always did a lot of things together. Went to church a lot. We literally grew up in church.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna fast forward because I think there's so much we need to unpack. You then leave Seshego to initially study fashion design.
Yes, I did.
Okay.
And then I left. I dropped out.
There was a reason though that you dropped out.
Yes, because I did my first year, but then I fell pregnant then as well. So then I went back home.
At very 19. So you go back home to the parents that you've described and the family environment that you described with a stomach bearing.
Yeah. And I just pretended like I don't know what was happening.
What
I
did
just
you
walked around. Yeah, no, seriously. I didn't say much until my mom brought it up. I actually talk about it in the book, how it happened, because I was staying with my aunt in Diepkloof at the time. And then I felt pregnant, and I didn't say anything to my aunt. And my aunt was a nurse at Mill Park. And, well, sister, there's a big difference I hear, I'm told. She never asked me anything. So all she did was then she waited for me to get onto the taxi to go back home, and then call my parents and go like, hey guys,
there's a situation.
Yeah, I think we have a situation.
So at what point does mom discover, and what does she say?
No, well, the first time they are quiet, they're not saying much, and then eventually she's like, okay, so are we eventually going to talk about this? And I was like, yeah, I guess we can.
Yeah.
And then we talk about it. Obviously, my dad is not happy. He's very disappointed. And I write this beautiful letter asking for forgiveness and this and this and that, explaining it was a mistake, shouldn't have. I know you're not happy with me.
Yeah.
I'm going to do better and all of that. Fine. Then fast forward, 2 years later, I fall pregnant again. Then my dad brings out the letter that I wrote the first time.
This is how my sister, but this is what you said.
Sorry, point of reference. Yeah.
So 2 babies at 21.
Yes.
How do you navigate motherhood at such a young age?
Thankfully, having a big family, I don't want to lie. I don't want to say it like, oh, I raised my kids by myself. My brothers and sisters, they raised my kids. And my brothers are younger. And I've got a younger sister as well and an older sister. And my parents. So my kids basically grew up at home first before I went to fetch them to come live with me.
But what's nice now is that, like, if you invite Rami to like a thing, she comes with her daughters and it's vibes. Now it's vibes. Now we all can hang out. Let's speak about how we get introduced to Rami, the actress. Apparently there was a high school trip to the Market Theatre, and Mam Nandini Mbe was basically the tour guide.
Yes, she was giving us the tour of the market of the Newtown precinct. And we went Kaskolo, the drama class, the English and the drama class. And there was this beautiful teacher. That lady believed in me so much that, I mean, the first few weeks after we met, she just said, you're going to be a superstar.
Yeah.
She knows it, she knows it, she knows it. And because I was in boarding school then, go Jane First, and I used to be so distracted because someone is teaching and they're boring. And then I realized, later as I realized that sometimes people fail because there's no creative way of teaching people, especially young
creatives.
Yeah, you need to, so I used to get bored. And then this lady, Pippa Davis, was like, okay, then we started doing a lot of dramas at school. I think my first drama was in 1986 when I arrived, but she wasn't there then. But then when she arrived, she knew that I was like the drama of the school, and she basically nurtured me, and she would take us to different shows. I remember when Alhambra Theatre was still alive, we went to watch Nonsense. I don't know if you know Nonsense.
No.
Yeah, it's old. It was a musical about nuns.
Okay.
Yeah, and basically think Sister Act, but kind of like something like that. Yeah, and then we went to the market. I think it was in 1989.
Yeah.
In 1989. And we did the tour of the market. Mam Nandi was there wearing stilettos and a beautiful grey suit with a pinstripe suit with a striped shirt.
Yes, Queen.
Then striped shirts were in fashion. I almost said, do you remember? But
no, I wasn't born.
1989, you probably.
No, I wasn't born. I wasn't there, Rams. But you then go and study music.
Yes,
and not drama necessarily after school.
Yes. I studied music, but then because I also wanted to be able to do musicals.
Yes,
but I didn't go to the musical theater side of it. I went to the jazz side, what they used to call light music. And there used to be this lecture who said, I don't know what's light about jazz.
Yeah,
but then.
And then something else I learned about you today. You hosted a jazz radio show on Tabela FM.
Yes.
I had no idea.
Yes.
So it was a full circle moment for you then, because with your musical background to be able to host a show. Do you remember what your first big break was?
My first big break on TV?
Yeah.
I think it would have to be Hijack.
What year was that?
Hijack was 2000.
Yeah. But that's similar to Backstage time.
Yeah. So, backstage was, I did Hijack first,
Uh-huh.
then Backstage followed end of 2000 into 2001. Yeah.
And it's a new era of creatives now, right?
Yeah,
Entering the backstage era.
Yeah.
We then learn of you as Tato on Scandal, Khomocho on Muvango, which was a big one.
of course.
But you were only on Muvango for a year, is that correct?
Yes.
What happened?
Well, you know, when you talk a lot.
What were you saying, my Rams?
I don't know. Sometimes the dressing rooms are cold. Can't you get heaters? Can't you get heaters? And they were stalling. Then I brought my own heater. Then I brought a blanket. I made it home. I brought a rug.
Yes.
And I put a star on my door.
Because you are a star, and I think that's something about you that I love so much. You speak out, you're kind in your speaking out, and you're very resourceful. It's like, if you're not going to fix it, then I'll just fix it myself.
Yes.
So that's, I mean, you leave after the 1 year, but then you come back the following year.
No, I didn't go back to Muvhango. I only did it
For the
time.
1 year.
Yeah.
Okay, the next time we see...
Oh, no, yes, you're right. I came back. Oh, yes, because they wanted to close this, to close someone else's story.
Okay.
Yes, then I did. Yes, I did go back.
Okay.
But I only went back for briefly I think it was 2-3 months or something.
So then you weren't fired. I wouldn't say you were fired from Muvango.
Well, I think right now I should say the show couldn't do without me. I'm kidding. That's not what it was.
Yeah.
No, you know, sometimes, I didn't get fired. They just didn't renew my contract.
Of course.
Yes.
And that's another conversation of renewing contracts versus getting fired and what the difference of that is.
Oh, no, don't worry. I know the difference.
And I want us to unpack that properly, because that became a point of contention, especially when it came to the Queen.
Yes.
We'll talk about it next.
Cool.
So we are in conversation with one of my favorite people on planet Earth. Rami Chuenen is in the building. Yes. I mean, you've been on our screens for as long as we can remember, but also one of the most iconic roles you played. I understand you tweeted your way to getting the role.
No, it was actually a stunt.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay, so you guys had
Yes.
spoken about it behind the scenes.
Yes.
So
I got the role first, and then I was like, okay, fine. Because I wanted to kind of launch myself into the show. So I just said, guys, ask the Queen to hire me.
And then I understand you said if people retweet and you get more than 10,000 retweets,
Yes.
then the Fergusons will hire you.
Yes,
And
yes.
Shauna was also in on it, I understand.
yes,
Because then it's like, okay, Rami, you've done it, let's sign.
Yes, let's sign.
What
yes.
was the Queen like? Because I remember it being one of the first and biggest telenovelas that would sit on DSTV.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the Queen was huge. You know, when I watched the first season of The Queen, I was like, I want to be on the second season of The Queen. And then when Shauna called me, I was like, wow, okay, cool.
What do you think it is about the Queen that made it so successful?
I think it was for the first time, we were starting to discover the land of telenovelas first. And Zanzi Magic had just gotten kind of like biggish.
Yeah.
It was growing feet. And from some of the shows that we've watched before the Queen started, like You're the Wild, and all of a sudden it had the texture,
blackness.
it had the blackness, but then with the elite and the
With the
nice,
lux.
the luxury and the class, man. And there was something about the Queen.
But
that-
Tikom was probably one of the, like, sometimes when like I post a photo with you, the comments are just like Tikom.
Yeah,
I'm just
even
like,
today. Yeah, I'll post something about the other show and they'll be like, oh yeah, but you're always Tikom.
and there's always that character where
Yes.
it doesn't matter what other work
Yes.
you do, that's just who you are forever and ever. But then you didn't stay on the show forever and ever. In 2019, Batiswa Ndaka publishes a 6-page open letter to then Sports, Arts and Culture Minister Natim Tetra. And in it she alleges exploitation, poor remuneration, unfair contracts, and you come out in support of her.
Yes. And I retweet the whole thing that she did.
Was there no fear? You're so fearless. Was there no fear in your mind to
No.
say, "Oh, they're going to blacklist me here"?
No. No, I wasn't scared at all. So, and that happened. So,
What happened?
No,
What
I'm
like are the experiences? Because obviously, when you retweet something or agree with something, it must be personal experience that you also experience.
yes, because I know that, you know, with the South African entertainment industry, even now, I mean, look at what is happening with Pimville.
Yeah.
You know, and it's still a battle that is ongoing and ongoing and ongoing. Yes, it's a fact. Actors are being exploited. People are not getting paid their dues. People are being overworked and underpaid. You know, some of the working conditions are not that great.
For people who've never been on a set, when you say working conditions aren't great, what does that look like?
First of all, we must have nice food.
Yeah.
Yeah, like basic human etiquette stuff and being able to communicate well with your cast, with your crew, being able to be empathetic. Sometimes we'll go kind of like overtime. And I think one of the things that I remember I said, like, if we're going to go overtime, can we know 2-3 hours before? Because some of the crew, they live in Vereniging and someone has to go fetch her child from aftercare and they think they're wrapping at 6. Now we want to go for an extra hour. The least you can do, give people ample time to make alternative arrangements. Like those
basic things.
I don't even know what to mention because things are the things I'm complaining about, I'm always complaining about, are so basic.
But sometimes those basic things are almost framed as if you're asking for luxury.
For a lot, yes.
Like a heater, like you mentioned.
Like a heater, yeah. And then, I remember Komubango, I was like, guys, it's freezing. And I was like, it's cold. Why are we not getting heaters? And they just gave us a long story. Yeah, we'll get there. I brought my own heater. Yeah. I brought a rug. I brought my own pillow. I brought my own nice fleece blanket. I decorated my room. And they're like, no, the room is not permanently yours. Whatever. I'm like, no, it's fine. Even if it's not permanently mine, whoever comes in can use it. Then they can get to feel the comfort of how I live in my space. I can't leave the comfort of my house to come and sit somewhere where I'm not comfortable.
Do you think it's actors' fear of speaking out that because they almost make actors feel like, if you're not going to do it, then it's fine, Tando will do it?
Yes, all the time.
Yeah.
They do that. And there's a lot of fear and I sympathize with it. Not everyone is going to wake up and say, when someone is trying to fight, like, oh no, don't worry, I'll fight you. Not everyone does that. And there's nothing it doesn't mean when you don't want to raise concerns, because a lot of people really, really need to work and to work all the time.
Yeah.
And families depend on them and they can't afford to have a break.
So when Pimville happened and those actors were then out of a job, suddenly out of nowhere, you also then went on to Twitter to say you imagine...
Yes, give the Pimville actors their money.
Correct. But you also framed you framed it in a hypothetical way, in that something happens with the budgets.
Yes.
And your assumption or your guess is that there's some payback.
Yes,
that's being paid to producers by commissioning editors.
They do it all the time.
Explain. If I'm not in television, what does that mean?
If you're not in television, I'm the commissioning editor, for instance. Let's just say I'm the CE, right? And then people pitch in shows, and we like 5 shows. But your show is not that great, okay? You're like number 7 on the list. Sometimes they take the top 5 shows and then put them together and make one show and then give it to you. That is why it's called, what's the nice word that they use? When everybody sends their
submissions.
Submissions.
Yeah.
No, but there's a name. There's a unsolicited. And then there's a disclaimer there at the bottom that please remember that your idea might be the same as other people's ideas. So that when you see it on TV, you can now go back to channel and go like, wait a minute, I submitted, I didn't get it, and then you gave it to Tando. And you can't contest it because there's that disclaimer at the bottom that says you submit at your own risk.
Yeah, because ideas are similar.
And ideas are not faithful. Yeah.
I want us to go back to the Queen.
Okay.
So how does that end? So it's a beautiful relationship where you create this Twitter thing with Shona. But then Tigom that we love so much is shot and killed. And when a character is shot and killed, it's not coming back.
No, never.
It's not days of our lives.
I wasn't shot. I was hit with someone's walking stick. It had a little iron head or whatever. Yeah, something like that. And then they clobbered her, the wife of the guy that she was seeing, something like that.
So how does the conversation go down to say this is what's going to happen to Tikom?
Well, the conversation is like, okay, first of all, I was fired from the Queen. Well, I know people think I wasn't. I was fired from the Queen. Okay, so we've just been complaining about a lot. There was a time I actually wrote an email, and I was complaining about a whole lot of things. And I wrote it to Mr. Shaw. And then I was complaining about a whole lot of things, this and this, why we're not doing this. Yeah, I don't remember what I said, but I said a lot. And then, and also we kind of had like a bit of a family, you know me.
Yes, you huddle everyone.
I huddle everyone, and then we would go out, and we would go have parties, and we would go support each other and all of that. And we used to do that a lot, especially with the crew. Cast and crew together, and obviously sometimes when things are not going that well, I'm the first one to say, why is this happening? Why, okay, fine. Then the Vatiswa thing happened, so I also feel like it was just a pile up of so many things. But okay, this one is going to be a problem, and I keep saying to people, are you reading your contracts? It's not just the crew. Even actors don't read their contracts. We always start at the first 3 pages that explains who the artist is.
And the part where the money
Then we
is.
run to page, sometimes it's 11, sometimes it's 15, to see how much they're paying you and how long the contract is going to be. And then the rest of the contract, nobody reads it. And then that's when something happens at work, I'm like, what does your contract say? Okay, let me tell you what the contract says about your working rights and your rights as a human being within your working space.
So what makes you say you were fired? Because one can say your storyline or Tigom's storyline came to an end and they were going in
No, I was fired. I was called into a meeting. There was a whole disciplinary thing. Yeah, it was a big meeting. And then eventually they said, we'll come back to you. Then they came back after 2-3 days. And then I think the line producer then and I don't remember what Ola her job description was. And then they're like, okay, fine. After the meeting that we had, we decided that we're going to have to let you go.
Wow.
Yes. So I was fired. And then I was like, okay, cool, great. But you do know that my contract ends when?
But they did pay you for the duration.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right.
Do you think they wouldn't have paid
No,
me?
not you.
Not me. They were going to pay me.
We're in conversation with Rami Chuenen. If you want to ask her anything, 011-8838-947. We're in conversation with author and actress Rami Chuenen. Author, because she wrote her own memoir, We Kissed the Sun and Embraced the Moon, released in 2015. I understand you started selling this book out of your boot.
Yes, I did. I started selling it out of my boot, and because I wanted to get into the big bookstores, but sometimes it's actually not that great because the cut that they take is ridiculous. But then what I did, because I just needed it to be out there for a while, I got a lot of my friends starting to call all these bookstores like, okay guys, do you guys have Rami Chuenen's We Kiss the Sun and Embrace the Moon? And they would call and call and call. Eventually they called me and said like, can we get some copies of your books?
Yeah.
And that's how I went into the mainstream.
What made you want to write a book?
Because I write all the time. I write all the time, and short stories, long stories, and then I used to put some of the stories on Facebook, and people would be like, is this a book? And I'm like, you never know. Maybe, yeah. And then I just took some of those stories and then I compressed and I chose some of what I think would like make sense, and put it together into 30 short stories.
And some of the stories you tell of your own life are so, such fragile stories.
Yeah.
I imagine conversations that are difficult to have with even people who are family members. You document how you were sexually abused from the age of 6 years old. Why did you want to tell that story?
That was the last story I wrote because it was so hard. I think the rest of the book I'll be writing in my house and all of that. But that one, I had to book myself into a hotel somewhere and sit. And, and sometimes I would just sit and cry so much because now I'm like because now I have to relive it so that I can write it as honestly and as plainly and authentically as possible. But yeah, I thought it was a very important story to tell.
What happened, Rams?
What with the story?
Yeah.
With the sexual abuse.
Yeah.
Well, I was sexually abused when I was 6 by some guy who used to do furniture. Back in the day, we used to have those. Oh gosh, back in the day, all of you look at me funny because your back in the day.
It's not our back.
It's
It's
like
2016.
It's 2016, and for me, 2016 was just yesterday. We used to have those wooden ceilings, and then they would kind of burn them and make this burn effect. Man, it was like.
It was like decor of sorts.
Like decor of sort. And then you could actually have like a TV stand. And it looked beautiful. That was like, when you had that, shame. you're top of you're on top of your game, and that was the guy, you know. And I remember the first time he sent, I came back from school, he sent auntie, because he had said he was hungry, he needed to get food, but now he can't leave, he needs to finish up,
so that auntie leaves you alone.
Yes. And basically that's how it happened the first time.
Yeah. And then he gives you 1 rand the first time.
5 rand.
5 rand.
Yes.
And then it becomes a note the second time.
Yeah, no, 5 rand was a note.
Okay. That was it. So, and obviously a little old you doesn't tell mom and dad.
You know what? At that time, I think you just think, you know, when he's like, okay, fine, don't know, this is just going to be between us. And then it's like, and then if you tell, they're not going to be happy with you. They're going to say, it was your fault. You did something. You know, there's a way. Abusers have mannerisms that when someone gets to tell you that it was actually this one, you're like, no, but I work with him every day. He would never. He's always been so good, so kind, so loving, so gentle. What are you talking about? There's a pattern that is so creepy and so dark that they know which button to press. That a lot of people who are abused, they don't speak out because they're scared, but they're just thinking, somehow you just believe it's your fault. I was bad. Yeah. And it happens, and not just with little children, with
adults
as well.
Yeah.
And you find that, especially if it's people who are seeing each other in a relationship, you know, and it's difficult for someone to say, but then how do we draw the line between your relationship and the rape, or him beating you up? So he beat me up, what did you do? And it becomes so strange.
And you sort of disconnected from that.
Yes.
That thing that had happened to you when you were so young.
Yeah.
You hated one-ply toilet paper. You hated Vaseline. You didn't understand why.
Yes.
And it's because...
Yeah, it's because of that. Because then he used Vaseline as a lubricator.
Oh, my gosh.
You know? So, and every time when I would see Vaseline, I would just want to throw up. I just wanted to throw up. And I hated one-ply tissue paper. I didn't understand, like, why are people using one-ply? It just represents something so bad, so tragic.
I'm sorry you went through that, Marams. But
thank you.
Something else in your book you speak about is colorism within your own extended family, and how they would buy, because you were the darker skinned child, you would get lesser than, or you wouldn't get as much attention as the lighter or fairer complexion kids at home.
Yeah, true. But also, I saw my pictures, guys. I did look like a boy.
Stop it. Yeah.
I did look like a boy. I had, like, literally, you know, that hair that has separation issues. It's just here, there, and everywhere. And my older sister has my dad's complexion. She's very light in complexion. She's gorgeous. And she used to have this long hair, and she would have, like, little... ponies and everything, and they would ask her to come and be a Stroy Macy for weddings. And I always thought that one day they're gonna ask me. No, babes, it never happened. It never happened. And you know, the colorism, it comes in a way that it looks like affection, but it's actually not. You know, when they start calling you Manso because you're dark, Mansonyana, and in the book I say Black Mampatile, and but yeah, being dark then, even at school it was worse, because we used to sing in the choirs, and sometimes I would lead a song, but I would lead it from the second line, because all the pretty people are in front.
Did you know at the time that, I mean, obviously you didn't know the term colorism, but did you know that there was a favoritism to lighter skinned people?
I did. And I remember there was this teacher who always used to pick on me because, you know, you comb your hair. By the time you're at school, the hair is messed up again. And then they would call us out. As you go to classes, they used to pick people, among Moriri. And I would get a hiding every single day.
Meanwhile, you did comb your hair.
Yeah, I did. And I would brush hair. And my poor grandfather, he tried it. He would brush it. No, I'm telling you, my grandfather would be putting bridal cream, glycerine. He did.
But it's also like trying to make this hair that is yours something that it's not naturally.
Not, yes. Because then, anyway. But there was this beautiful teacher who liked me, Mema Tapolap, and she passed away a while late. And then I remember they moved me from 2A to 2D. Okay, back in the day, instead of 2, A means brilliant, B, C, D, basically. And then they took me to 2D because the mistress got 2A, didn't really like me.
Hectic.
Yeah, and they took me to 2D. And then because I knew they didn't like me, I didn't do that well in class. And then they took me to 2D and I passed. I was like number 1 in all the subjects. And my marks were even higher than some of the people in 2A.
Yeah, but it goes to show
shows the importance of teachers and how they nurture. And I've had luck with all those teachers. I had Mema Tsapola, I had Pippa Davis in high school. There's always someone. Even my music lecturer, our principal at Tech, when I left, he said, "Listen, some of these things you don't have to do them now. What you need to do, get up." Because I was getting booked already. Go gig, go work. Whatever that's left, you'll come back while you're relaxed and you'll do it.
We're in conversation with Rami Chuenen. We'll play her Vava's J track just after 5. We've touched on like so many of the shows that you've done, but I don't think we have enough time. No, like, we don't have enough time.
It looks like,
I mean, I had
sit here for hours.
No, we could. And I had the honor of falling in love and working with you on how to run Christmas.
Yes,
the very first
time.
Yeah. And also, that's the opportunity where you then went international.
Yes.
Yeah. And how was it received, your character, do you think? On how to ruin specifically?
I think it was a good platform to actually, especially with how to run Christmas, guys. Like, yeah, it was a mind-blowing opportunity. And I'm like, guys, we're famous.
Yes. And I think as Aunt Grace, that was a character we've never seen you play before.
I know.
You look like you want to say something.
Nothing. I'm just admiring.
Oh, okay. You fell in love with your eyes there.
Great character.
You watched How to Ruin Christmas?
Of course, because you would not let me watch it. So I had to watch all of it. All of it. How to Ruin Everything.
Yeah. We've got Thabo on the line who wants to give you your flowers. Hello, Thabo.
Hi, Tando.
Speak to us. Rami's here.
How's Rami?
Hello.
How are you?
I'm fine, thanks. How are you?
I am super. I'm so excited to be speaking to you once again. I remember there's this one time I met you and Tando. We were at a garage, I think in 4 ways.
Oh,
and
yes.
all 3 of us were wearing green.
Yes. Oh. Yes, I remember.
Yes. I really want to appreciate you, Rami, and the work that you do. Like, keep on being a great person that you are and blessing our screens as you always do. Right now, I mean, like, we're so glued to what's the 4 of us, you know, really enjoying it. We really appreciate you, man, Rami. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Thabo.
We love you, Thabo. Thank you so much for the call.
Love you,
Thanks, bye, Thabo. All right, Rami's taking us back to the year I was born, 1990 today. Where were you? Let's see if Msizi can guess who it is. This song appeared on his album called Slave, the Slave album. It's a romantic reggae track about finding someone who provides love, understanding, and emotional security.
Slave?
Yeah, boy.
Johnny Clegg?
No,
I'm
reggae.
not joking. Reggae, is it international? Bob Marley, maybe?
No. He's one of South Africa's most successful reggae musicians.
Oh, South African. I know exactly who you're talking about.
Who is it?
Lucky Dube.
Why did you choose this song?
Because I chose this song because when it was released in 1987, and I remember I was 12, and it became one of the biggest songs of his. It wasn't his first album. I think Slave is his 3rd album. But he blew up so much, it became our family song. So every New Year's, and when I say New Year's Day, even in 2026, we dance to that song. My mother loves it. And we dance and we become my mother's backing vocals.
Yes.
And then when we go, ayo. And my dad sees, then he watches us and he's just like, with smug.
The smug girls.
Yeah, it's like, all of us with the brothers as well. So this is one of the many, many songs that we danced to in for New Year's. And we remember the big festival here at Ellis Park, and the whole stadium was, it was amazing.
Well, let's take you back to Ellis Park. Here's Lucky Dube.
I've
got you, babe. I got you, baby.
Don't ruin it.
Sorry. I wish Joburg could have seen how Rami lost her mind for this song.
Sang every single lyric, every single word in that one.
Gosh, we love this song.
Oh man,
Yeah.
like you
My
do
mother,
yeah.
My mother, like, even if she's like, oh, I'm sick, hey, what?
Yes.
Play this song, she forgets. Leaves the dishes, leaves everything, comes, and we all go.
Did your mother get to see you perform on the Cry of Winnie Mandela?
No, but my siblings did.
Okay, because that was one of the most powerful plays I've ever seen in my life. Of course, Tembi Samdota playing Winnie.
Yes.
And then really it's about a story of women in wait while their husbands are in exile.
Or doing whatever, mining, Lord knows.
Or mining
what.
children.
Yeah. Because my husband went to go mining and he just never came back, started a new family on the other side.
And this was the realities of women during the apartheid
exactly
era.
that.
And now we get to witness you on our screens once again, which everyone is so excited about. Currently number 1 on Netflix. Rami plays Vera on The Four of Us. And again, a little bit of a different character from all the roles that you've played. She's soft.
Yeah.
She's,
Oh, but she likes fighting as well. She's soft, but she's very stern and she's very principled,
Yeah, but she's also the person that everybody comes to.
Yes,
when
she's the mother. She's the mother.
It's very much like you. If you have a problem, Rami will solve it. If you need a shoulder to cry on, Rami will provide it. If you need a voice to speak because you are voiceless, Rami will be your voice.
Amen.
And on our screens, you continue to be our light. I love you long time, my Rams. Thank you so much for sharing your story with us, ladies and gentlemen. The incredible Rami Chuenen.
Thank you so much. I love you, my Tando.
From the big moments
To the day-to-day grind.
we're delving deep into your story.
Story
On 947 Drive
with Tando.